So, I wanted to talk a little bit about change and how we can start making change in our everyday life. And I think there's just certain situations that come up where it's just invoking a sense of change. We notice something in ourselves that we want to focus on, make better change for that, so we can have more love, happiness in our lives and for the people around us. Or it's like a situation, maybe it's a work thing where you have an odd relationship with somebody there, or you're trying to move up in a new position, or it's just something you've identified that's no longer serving you that you want to start initiating change for. And so it's so easy to understand, hey, I need to stop doing this thing and do something else to see what happens, right? But what is difficult about the process of change is that we have to stay consciously aware in the moment, right now. There's no other time that we can have change in our lives except right now. And so the question then becomes like, well, how do I start becoming consciously aware in the moment? How do I stay present? How do I start allowing myself to not go into autopilot when I'm driving to work every morning and have the same secular thoughts that we usually have? How do we do this? The easiest way that I found to do this is by meditating. There's many different ways to meditate. I think you got to experiment with them, but moving forward to the next step in the equation that creates another issue that we're trying to figure out is when and how do we start making sure that we're going to meditate? If it's every day, every other day, whatever it might be. I recommend every day, but just doing a small amount, like 5 minutes. But what I will say is doing it first thing in the morning, having your coffee, your tea, whatever it might be, your water, hopefully too, and allowing yourself like, okay, just had my water. I'm going to sit 5 minutes. I'm going to dedicate 5 minutes to meditating and allowing this practice to happen. And so as we continue to do that, we start building momentum. It starts carrying over into other parts of our day. And it allows us to see that we are becoming more and more conscious. We'll notice those changes in ourselves. And it's almost scary because you start realizing how unconscious you were before because you have the new awareness factor. But the reason why I say doing it first thing in the morning is that it's unbelievable how much we'll talk ourselves out of things as it goes further along throughout the day. Like, oh, I gotta make dinner. Oh, I don't have enough groceries. Oh, my best friend just called. I haven't talked to her in a while. I gotta pick this up. And before we know it, it's bedtime or whatever else it might be. But just allocating those 5 minutes in the morning will profoundly change your life as your life continues.